everybody, we're back. We just took a moment there because we weren't quite sure how quickly they'd be done, and then they got done really quick. So I'm just going to quickly tweet about this, if I can even type my password right, and then we'll get going here. I guess no one else is coming either. I was waiting for the WCS guys to let us know. And if I can't type my password right, I'm going to kill myself here. All right, let's get into the game because it is starting, of course. Again, with Drogo coming brand new on the stream, guys, I don't know what his audio levels are going to be like. I think I've balanced them, but Harstem versus... I should probably tag them. I can't do anything right today, guys. Game's starting. Give me 1 sec here. Live now. Harstem versus Namshar. Casting. Boom. Okay, let's hope that's good. Yeah, it's a brand new series, fresh and new. And like I said, if Drogo's audio is a little bit off, just let me know. I can adjust it on the fly. That is the beauty of us having no delay, being live here at DreamHack Montreal. But of course, without further ado, I'll let you introduce the pro to us, sir.
Playing first team with Astarion, I believe. This is Harstem.
Oh yeah, I forgot he joined a team.
Yep.
His opponent, of course, at the bottom right, going to be Namshar, Red Zerg. And we kind of went over this dynamic. We looked at their Legulax before the series started. And just a quick note for anyone who's unfamiliar with either of these players, they've got a fair bit of history. But what's really interesting is Namshar's done better against Harstem in live events, generally speaking, but Harstem's done better against Namshar in online events, generally speaking. So maybe this will be a repeat of like one of those Austin games, or maybe this will be totally brand new. I don't know.
Okay. So now I'm going to try to go for like a prediction, you know, of what's going to happen.
Okay, I'm waiting.
And pretty much if Namshar is not disturbed by anything, he's like almost 100% gonna go Hydra with maybe some drop into Lurker.
Oh, into Lurker, actually.
Yep.
Yeah?
That's what he does.
Okay, that's going to be sick to see. I've seen a couple people busting out Lurker recently, but the funny thing is, it's not the Koreans, it's the Europeans who've been doing this. So
I mean, the Rogue went for the Lurker a couple of times too. I really believe like Lurker still have a place in ZvP. Like if the maps allows it and there's enough like, you know, choke on everything, then it's viable, like very, very viable.
Well, I was going to make a joke because you're like, I predict he's going to go Hydras. I'm like, really? I predict he's going to make drones.
I mean, he's going to make Hydras on no Banes, you know. That's one of the big thing too.
That's the big difference. Because
Namshar is not a big Bane guy.
Well, oh, I guess I forgot to explain to you. Apologies for the no in-game sound. That's the consequence of all this stuff. But all right, we'll see if your prediction holds true. I know certainly just hearing about that makes it sound like a very exciting game. There was a time period, right, where Lurkers were actually so popular in the matchup. It was like Disruptor versus Lurker. PvZ was sometimes a bit of a headache to see.
Disruptor versus Lurker this is like Legacy of the Void beta.
Yeah, well, I would say even like the first couple months of it going live too. But I think once the Immortals got their barrier ability and things, like it just became so much better to have those, right?
Yeah. Immortal were great. Like, it's a funny story too, you know, like, and it's not to brag, this is factual, like, at least in the foreign scene, I was the first Protoss to actually go charge Arc on Immortal, on not Disruptors, in the early days of Legacy of the Void, but back then, I did not really understand, like, I was getting the army, and I didn't really get what was the most important. Was it the charge lot, what is the Immortal, or was it like the +1?
Oh, you're like, this is a good combination,
because before in the Swarm, getting a fast forward was very important. And I kept like switching between I'm gonna get the charge faster or the Immortal faster. And for the longest time, I thought that the charge was like the big thing that made it work. But no, it was actually the Immortals, you know.
Was this?
And I didn't realize it by myself. I had to see Koreans just massing Immortals to get it.
Well, I was gonna ask, back then, was that when charge had damage attached to it? I don't remember when it got that buff.
It still has. Like, since Legacy of the Void, they got the buff.
Yeah, okay.
But it took people a while to think that charge lots were like the big thing. Because, you know, in Net of the Swarm, we're all making Stalkers all day, every day.
Yeah. Actually, it's crazy how much it changed up the dynamic of things. Adepts, Zealots, excuse me, you name it. But, all right, so we'll keep an eye on things. If Namshar is going for the idea of Lurkers at some point, even not Lurkers, even just Hydras, what do you think is the best way to deal with it? We're seeing a lot of people try and even nowadays incorporate Colossus back into their composition.
Ah, no, Colossus sucks.
Yeah? Easy peasy. No, just shut it down.
No, like, Colossus is not even good against Hydra. It's good against Hydra Bane. And you need like a perfect game on Desert to not see it. Like, you need a lot of things to go right for you. This is okay. So yeah, this is a very Namshar. Like, Namshar plays very old school, like with the Roach Warren here in case of Alliance. Not really scouting much, getting a ton of drones. Can you press U? I want to see how many Zerglings he has. Yep, 6 Zerglings, not really getting any more. So he has one overload for vision, sees the third, sees that it's a bit later than usual, but honestly, this is one of the strengths as Protoss right now, is that your third timing is not really relevant because you can do a lot of things behind it, and the thing you do behind it is doesn't have always the same answer. Like for example, if you have a Protoss staying on 2 base for a while, it can either be a big all-in, or it can be like mass Oracle. And this is the big all-in. If Namshar gets Roaches, it's fine, but if he gets Roaches, this is Oracle. Obviously, this is bad, right?
I don't think Harstem's really an Oracle player, is he? I mean,
Oh no, very much. I mean, I don't know if he's a mass Oracle player, but
yeah, I mean, like I've seen him go for the one whose revelations are good, all that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're seeing like. It's just so funny. Mass Oracle became like a trend after watching the meme for so long.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not unbeatable. Like you've seen Deer getting wrecked by Dark pretty hard.
Yeah. I actually am still not convinced it's even that good. But the one or two games it works so well.
Like Oracle Oracle has a characteristic about it, which when you have a strategy that works like this, you have to ask yourself if it's like not imbalanced. But the thing is, with Oracle, when you're ahead with Oracle, you actually can't lose the game. This is the thing. Like if you're ahead and you go mass Oracle, it's almost impossible to lose the game. This is kind of like carriers back in the day. Like if you had a good enough carrier count, you couldn't really lose the game anymore. Yeah, so yeah, no, see, like Namshar is the only guy who does this anymore. He's gonna get Roaches Vision against the Adept, and is it gonna be good enough? This is a lot of Adepts, and if Harstem spreads them a lot, I do believe he's gonna do a ton of damage.
I'm a little bit worried too, because he's not gonna have these all in the same spot. They're coming from different angles. A little bit of creep patch missing here, so the Queens can't respond so easily. But Harstem goes to cancel. This does allow Namshar to position though.
Yeah, this is good for Namshar. These Adepts are not really doing much. Harstem not overcommitting. You know, you don't want to lose all of your Adepts to Roaches and do anything, because Roaches are a pretty big commitment. Like if you get Roaches, you don't really like them. Okay, this is really good play by Harstem. Like just letting some Adept finishes. He's gonna kill a lot of drone.
Yeah. He said the rest of them.
Yeah, like this
is cool. He draws them completely out of position, but I still don't know. Like, yeah, he cancels these ones. He knows it's not enough.
I do believe that this was very good for Harstem. Like, very good management of his units, and
he's still killing. I mean, 7 drones, almost got an 8th one there.
Yeah, like not only like it's not only about the drone lead. It's about the fact that he forced Roaches, and these Roaches don't really do anything. Oh no, the Oracle is here. Like when you do this, what's cool is to just shift click a stasis. Like, you know, click click stasis, then click click back.
Oh,
so
like
you don't look at this, but this stasis, because the guy has to like manage like 3 Adepts everywhere. Like this stasis is gonna do a lot of work.
Well, Adepts do get in here, and the Queens are so busy shooting that Warp Prison that they don't get on top of the Adepts right away. But
Namshar just got 7 Overload when he really didn't need 7 Overload. This is, yeah, Namshar is a little bit falling apart right now.
Well, at least he's able to hold on for the time. But he's got army supply to take on whatever Harstem's going to warp in. He's actually going Swarm Host, so we're not seeing him go direction of Lurkers, but another unconventional direction nonetheless. I really love the idea of Swarm Host on this map too. The same way Terrans, you know, they'll use siege tanks to use the mineral lines. I feel like Swarm Host can definitely get the same.
Yeah, Swarm Host on this map is pretty insane.
It's strange because Swarm Hosts, I know they were changed, and Blizzard kind of maybe had the hope that, oh, they're cheaper, so now people will make them more. But we still rarely see these, so this is definitely
yeah, like I think,
different
like
strategy.
here's the thing: Swarm Hosts are really insane. I think Swarm Hosts are really, really good, but they take a lot of skill to use. Like you need to be on top of the multitasking as a Zerg player if you want to make the Swarm Host work.
I'm glad you bring that up because it was really interesting watching the way the Koreans would use it. They would always just all the Swarm Hosts all in all the time. But then you watch the foreigners, they like stagger which ones go out, a couple here, a couple there. Like it was really cool watching that big key difference because it made it clear they weren't OP, but they were if they were handled well. 10 workers, by the way, died to this, so Harstem getting some more drone kills for Adepts is really nice to see. But he's got to be careful.
Swarm Host to Lurker. This is a nice little strategy. Like Namshar is just he's gonna pour a drone now on the hope that. Yeah, but honestly, like this, if his waves just kills this Nexus, then it's.
You know, even if it doesn't kill the Nexus, killing the Robo could be huge because you want to delay that from the Lurkers, right? Either way, this is some good damage, and if it keeps Harstem in hope, he's not attacking, and it gives Namshar that freedom. But oh my god, that Nexus is going down so quick!
Swarm Host, like if you don't see Swarm Host coming, this happens.
Oh my god!
Oh, this is. Yeah.
That was pretty ridiculous. They've got a cannon almost too. Like, and for those who don't know, Swarm Hosts do have a fairly long cooldown. It's like what, 45 seconds or something. Yeah. So it's not like he can just abuse these. He's got to hide them. He's got to make sure Harstem doesn't cast Revelation on them.
What you have to keep in mind here is that for the longest time, Namshar was sitting on the initial Roaches that he made, which was like let's say 20 Roaches, like these guys. So if Harstem just moved out, he would have won the game. Pretty much. Or if you see them, you can have an Oracle going zap zap, you know. Like if you see the Swarm Hosts, then they're okay. But like Swarm Hosts are kind of like, you know, the Zerg DTs. If they're unscouted, they do a ton of damage.
Zerg DTs who can fly over gaps and cliffs. So yeah, he's gonna go back around 2. I mean, the thing is, again, there's a lot of priority targets he can hit here, but he brings roaches and hydras too. So whether it's the Robo going down to the Nexus again, either way, this is a pretty big attack. But it looks like he'll fall back. He's got that army from the south coming in. That's an FP Swarm Host. This is not a fight Namshar can really win.
Yeah, no, like he should have just pulled back immediately. He lost like, a couple more units than he needed to, but I still do believe he's in a really wonderful position. He's gonna be able to be right back. Like, get a really strong Hydra army supplemented by a small amount of lurker. And I don't think Harstem can just break him. Like, Harstem army is really not that good.
Harstem doesn't have any detection outside of that revelation. This could be a really big problem trying to deal with those lurkers.
Yeah, like, Harstem is doing the usual, like, A move that you do because Swarmos, they're not that good in a direct fight, but...
This you say because Swarmos, I say because Protoss. No, but this Swarm Host, I mean, walking away from this is great for Harstem, and if he does buy the for a little time, if he does, Harstem's going to commit. He takes out the first wave of Locust, he's got some Storms hitting those Hydras. It's honestly not so bad, but this gives Namshar time to get Lurkers. And beyond this, Namshar's got a really sick bank growing.
Yeah, Namshar needs to make a couple more units. And, yeah, like, this army of Harstem is very fragile. It can be very powerful, but it's also very fragile.
Ooh. He's going to storm the Swarm House, maybe? No, he doesn't have vision, it's high ground. But the Temple off to the side like this are a little bit worrisome. They kind of exposed like that.
Yeah, so Harstem kind of gave up on just straight up killing Namshar, but he's doing the correct call, which is to get a mid beacon and probably more Stargate, because this kind of playstyle, this is Lurker. If you get a Mothership, you like almost always win, and if you get Carriers, you always win.
Well,
so the goal of the game is pretty much to survive until you get them.
A little bit of damage going down here, some Zealots getting that mineralized. Namshar gonna bleed out some drones.
Like, it's also right next to Namshar army, so doing that is kind of risky. Like, right now Harstem would love to have a War Prism in the main, because it's so far away for Namshar to defend it. But to be fair, Lurker makes it kind of easy. You can usually just leave the Lurkers alone, and
yeah, like
they shouldn't be able to engage into you.
You know, this is still, man, this is going to be so many Lurkers. He's coming up on 16. At some point, he should be able to just move forward with them. But Namshar keeps losing a lot of units here and there. It's not affecting his supply, interestingly enough, because he's not just holding down like the road.
And also, like, the biggest thing I think that people might not realize that Harstem is doing right now is keeping the Swarmos home. Because I'm pretty sure Namshar, like, he was so panicky that he used the Swarmos defensively. But if since the beginning he kept like the Swarmos to the 4th base, maybe
like over here,
the 4th base would have died like 2 times already. Harstem very smartly actually has a patrol in case it's happened to have like a bit of a head start. So good play by Harstem.
Well, Storms, of course, don't quite deal with Lurkers like they do Hydras, but they did a lot of damage there before falling back. Locust by Namshar time, but he's not repositioning or anything with this time spot. Unless again, Immortals misrallied or something, it just got wrecked. Just floating off this guy. Even though Lurkers only deal most damage to armor, of course, it's still splash damage, so anything it hits is always going to be good. This is a really tough position for Harstem to break, but this is where, what you brought up earlier, you want units elsewhere. The Zealots coming in, completely catches them off guard. Swarmos are on cooldown for that first attack. Everybody responds a little bit late. If he gets that Lurker in, that'll be huge.
Yeah, like, on to be honest, Harstem in this situation didn't even need to do any damage. Like, he just wanted to keep Namshar at home with all of his units. And behind it, like, he's getting +3 attacks on Carriers, he already has a Mothership. This is really solid like play by Harstem that's suffocating Namshar. Like, he has 46 walkers, he can't even clean up his Zealots, and behind it is Carrier. Like, I think Harstem has just game to the bag. Like, really powerful play.
He doesn't, I mean, Namshar doesn't know about the carrier swap, which is a problem, but beyond this too, like, there's just no anti-air. All of his Hydras have been turned into Lurkers. He's rebuilding the Hydra stand right now. He's relying on, like, what, 3 Queens and, like, 19 Hydras? Couple of Storms and a carrier, that takes care of that easily.
Yeah, like, I like this counter-attack of the Lurker, but it was way too late in my opinion. Right now, yeah, these invisible Zealots might even clean up everything. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I get we're both invisible to each other. Oh, do we have an ups finally? Okay, here it is.
Yeah, he gets by the Zealots too. No Oversteer nearby, just gonna lose him. That's devastating. You know, the resources lost definitely favoring Harstem, but not as much as I thought it would be. I thought this would be far worse for Namshar, but regardless of that.
Yeah, like Namshar is not mining much, so he's actually has been getting pretty good trades and he's keeping up his supply. But yeah, like with 56 worker, like the carriers, yeah, they're powerful.
I mean, yeah, he can't even afford to build Spore Crawlers. He needs all the workers mining. Spire starts up, it's a little bit too late. Lurkerden's back on the way, but there's so few Hydras. I mean, again, this looks like a good army, but the second a couple of Storms connect with it, a lot of these Hydras disappear.
Yeah, like, he's so poor, honestly. He was gonna block like overspeed. He doesn't have overload speed, which like, this is tough. Even if Harstem was behind, he could like snipe the overseer.
Well, the Mothership gets good zaps in here, so does that Archon. If the Overseers go down, that's going to be a real pain. He doesn't have better detection, and he has more Overseers on the way either, so got to keep this in the back. Storm's hitting those Hydras real hard. Of course, the Immortals is series anything they get their hands on.
Overseers are dead, so not that's enough. To be honest, might have been like the best, but Namshar could have taken, but not enough.
That was a pretty good game out of Harstem, I got to say.
Yeah,
I never know what to expect, because again, like you guys don't play in a lot of the online cups, so we don't get to watch you every single week and know where exactly you're at in the matchup. But it's great to see Harstem doing well. I don't know the next map though, so let me just poke him real quick. If I have to guess, it's probably Ascension to Ire. I swear to God, everyone picks Abyssal Reef, Ascension to Ire, and then like maybe Interloper. But like the map variety nowadays is not very much.
I mean, I like every map except Catalina.
Oh, look,
I feel like
Iron.
Interloper is also not that good for Protoss in general.
Any particular reason? Just because of the base layout, or
Like, versus Terran, you're gonna get wrecked by Liberator, and the way you expand always makes you vulnerable to Terran just moving out over and over and over. Like, when you have to take your 5th base, for example, you have like your army is at the 5th, but they can just, you know, maybe a drop is coming to you natural, or you can't really take map control to prevent that. So it's really hard, and Liberators are really hard. On versus Zerg, like Zerg will just break the rocks and they can defend everything with Quinling. And then it's the same way, like they can attack your 4th, your 3rd, your natural. And it's really hard to keep vision over everything and defending everything properly.
well, folks, Ascension to Ire was selected. We're hopping into game number 2, and I don't know. I guess were you clearly Protoss brothers in arms here? You're pretty satisfied with the way Harstem handled that situation, right?
Yeah, like it was really a really good play. Like, even though he couldn't break Namshar when he thought like he had to do something, he still like kept his calm and played a solid macro game behind it. Made sure like the Swarmos went out to his 4th base, kept everything at home.
Well, I thought it was really cool too, and we'll do the intros in a sec, guys. But I really liked you were pointing out a lot of the little things I might not have never noticed, like the one Zealot on patrol to look for the swarm hosts and stuff. Like that's like a really good move out of a player for sure. But all right, guys, it's game 2. I'm gonna introduce him this time. In the bottom right, we've got the blue Protoss Harstem.
And now the top left, there is the guy playing for, I believe, Dead Pixel. Maybe, I think he left his team, I'm not sure. It's Namshar.
He actually just recently left his team, I believe.
Yeah, I remember reading about this.
Namshar, of course, for those who don't know, also announced that he plans to go to Korea after this, so he'll get some training down over there, which will be nice. He's a guy I would love to see how that affects him, because Namshar has I want to say like a year now, been that guy who's like on the cusp of like everyone knowing how good he is. But he always falls like a little bit short, like falls out in that round of 8 or something like that. So I would love to see him get that little bit of extra kick in his play.
Yeah. It's right now StarCraft is pretty hard. Even if you get like the top training, it's not always possible to turn it into a good result.
Plus, you go to Korea, you're just fighting ZvP all day, right?
Yeah, like Korea has a lot of Terrans compared to the foreign scene. This is always pretty tough.
It's crazy how that developed too, because you got the European scene is primarily Zerg. There's no arguing that.
Yeah.
The Korean scene you could argue is Terran favored, but it's still pretty good variety. And then what's NA? Feels bad, man.
So we have a Nexus first for Harstem. I kind of like Io. This is the map that grew on me the most. I like it like in every situation. I think it's an okay map for Protoss.
Yeah, I really like the way they put the watchtowers actually in the middle too. I think that this does that right way to cover the map. Some of the watchtowers and some of the maps are kind of just like, you can leave it, you can take it. They're a little bit janky. I really like the 2 watchtowers on this map though.
Yeah, they're alright.
But yeah, so Harstem goes to the faster expand. I mean, last game, what I really liked about Harstem did wasn't actually even anything to do with this build. Like, okay, he went for this, he went for that. He responded to Namshar, I think, perfectly in every way. Even when he didn't know about what was coming and like he had to scout, like he handled that perfectly in terms of like response.
Yeah, like the last game was really a situation where Harstem was more or less doing everything he was supposed to, and Namshar was not, because Namshar was really just like, he just was focused on not dying, and he overestimated like the strength of Harstem army. But to be honest, like Namshar was behind after the beginning, so the Swarmos like got him in a like just the fact that he was able to fight his game out to that end was already like pretty good in itself.
So that's a Chrono on 2 very fast adepts, and thank goodness Namshar sees this. Because last game, you point out, he got pretty greedy, went for a lot of drones, not a lot of lings. He's got to actually deal with some pretty annoying early aggression this time around.
Yeah, so we have 2 adepts. Like, what's nice about these 2 adepts is that you can really often YOLO them, because Zerg needs to make so many Zerglings to try versus them effectively. Even if they make enough Zergling, half the time they're not gonna like catch them.
Yeah, running back and forth this early, like at least he'll have speed done by the timing of this hitting, but it's still not gonna be fun trying to play catch him. But Queen out in the front gonna be poking. Must keep just away. My babies. He still didn't. He didn't immediately make Zerglings though, which was interesting. He just kept going for a little bit longer.
This is a situation where you could argue that not cancelling the shade would be the best call, but even if you're cost effective, like in number of drones you kill, losing these 2 adepts that kind of gives a lot of freedom for the Zerg in general. Because if you lose these 2 adepts, taking a third becomes a lot more difficult. Like you need to do an AV to base play. Even if it's worth it, maybe drone-wise. So we see the Oracle, we see the Stalker.
Actually, this map
I don't like this Spina.
I'm not sure. Last time it was the defenses were already set up, spores were already down. We didn't actually get to see him do much with the Oracle, but I didn't want to see some more stasis traps. I think the thing that I think is coolest, and I'm curious your thoughts here as the actual player. Do you just aim to try and hit all the drones possible, or do you aim to hit the eggs and the larva?
Yeah, like usually with my first Oracle, I always try to go to 1 base on stasis hits. Usually, but it depends. Like it depends if you see overload speed. It depends on the map. Usually, you need to make a call of. Because sometimes you're gonna go to the third and you're gonna show up with 2 queen here. And it's like there's like the movement with Oracle is actually something like you could write a book about it. Because sometimes you're gonna like go to a base, on the Overlord sees the Oracle go to a base, then the last minutes, let's say you are going to the main, then you go to the third. Like at the end. And the queen can't really catch up with the Oracle. But if the guy didn't follow your Oracle with the queens and you just let at the third, then you're kind of done. There's a lot of really small man game and movement you can do with the Oracle early game.
I actually really like watching Classic for that. I think he's a Oracle handler.
Yeah, like Classic is like the top Oracle user.
Yeah, so he glides around with it. Link's managed to run by, and this actually catches Harstem a little off guard. Of course, he was busy using
like
Oracle.
it's like I'm watching myself a month ago when I was skipping the Mowership for really hardcore in everything I was doing. Because you see Harstem right now, he got the Twilights, like the Twilight for Turbo extremely fast, going for the Warp Prism, adding 4 more gates. I think he's only at 6 gates right now, it's not enough. So he wanted to be really greedy and get a really optimized push, so he didn't get the Mowership core, but I think it's a mistake because yeah, like nothing was defending his third base. And now like when you are Zerg and you see a third base with nothing like this, you know you're getting away. Which might seem, you know, counterintuitive when you're just like a casual watching. Well, it has nothing, I'm not gonna get attacked. No, there's nothing, so you're getting attacked. That's how it works.
Yeah, direct cause and effect. What's nice though is Harstem is actually going to have a really good set of upgrades here. It's not just through the charge. Once that +1 finishes, Tears and Zerg is a lot faster, but he's going to be losing a lot in that time.
I know I'm calling it a bit early, but I feel like there's no way Harstem wins this.
Okay, that's fair. Calm down their cats. We'll see how it plays out. I think there's a lot of cool potential. And the reason I say this is because, like, okay, I agree.
This
Namshar's
is
actually
so
got a
over,
sick
man.
army.
Like, Harstem wanted to be on the side of the... Like, right now, Harstem wanted to have 8 Zealots right now. And he's just like, yeah, like, he has this. That's good. Like, he's killing the... Like, he's cancelling the vortex at best. This is the best scenario. Here.
Well,
Namshar is gonna have +1 missile. Man, this is... Yeah, this is tough. Like, with the mass of Hydras. Like, he needs to kill this and get out really fast.
well, so I'm going to agree that this is going to be... Oh, he's going to go for the third?
Oh, yeah, like, he felt he was under pressure, so he's gonna go for the throat. But I do believe Namshar has a lot of skipping.
Yeah, he's actually got quite a bit to sit on. But however, a lot of things are across the map. He now comes back. Oh, we get the Warp Prism. Again, that Warp Prism is going to shut down the attack, and Harstem's going to lose everything he has with these Hydras. And that's his whole army.
Yeah, like, I don't like what Harstem is doing too much. Like, only 1 Oracle on trying to rush your attack, I don't think is the best way. I think you get a lot more value because if you get 2 Oracle on a Phoenix, the Phoenix kills 2 Overlord, the 2 Oracle kills more, and then the 2 Oracle, you can use them when you do the push. And the 2 Oracles, actually, they kill so much.
I need a caster cam for Joko, by the way, guys. He's getting really animated here as he gets super passionate about like, what Harstem should do.
Yeah, because like it's just, it's too bad, really. It's too bad. I feel like he didn't practice this enough because I say that because it's almost like the Zealot push. I almost only do this. So I know a bit about it. On this one, one's not a good one.
Before we call this all doom, gloom, and over, because Storm's still not here. This is horrible for Harstem.
He's gonna cheat his deck.
Yeah, he just lost his tempo for that.
Like these Hydra are +1. These Hydra, they do not fuck around.
I think if he had Storm with the attack, like the thing is, we've seen on multitudes of occasions, Zerg players throw a game that they play. And I feel like had that attack happened and Harstem had Storms, this would have been actually such a sick fight for Harstem.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you do this pressure, you don't have Storm. That's like the entire point of it. like, to be honest, it transitioned to Storm very, very fast. And I feel like Namshar got a bit too excited, you know? Like, pushing here. You're not going to accomplish anything pushing here. I think pushing on the third is much better because every time the Protoss, like, okay, there's pylon, but every time the Protoss can't really fight, then you can start killing stuff, you know?
You
like
put pressure up here, but there's nothing to gain.
Like because every time the Protoss has to back off a little bit, on you like next to a base, you can actually kill stuff, it matters. Here, when Harstem was backing off, like, the Namshar was doing nothing.
Well,
but I mean, he's continuing with his plan right now.
I do want to just bring up the fact that Storm did actually complete, though, and his army's so small. Harstem needs like a lot more buffer for this too. But some well-placed Storms and bad control at Namshar, and he could very easily lose a fight. Not to mention, if Harstem can actually get his fourth up, which I don't know if Namshar saw that on the way out, actually. He did not. Harstem is making a lot of the right moves, considering his situation, but yo, we're going for like Nurture-style Hydra drops, man.
But this is not, like, this is, I mean, this can work, obviously, but this is a lot better when the Protoss takes the overfourth. So this is gonna, it's probably gonna do okay if it's not scouted, especially because Namshar, I mean, Harstem lost his Oracle. So when you lose the, oh no, as I say that, I see the revelation, because I was gonna say, if you don't have the revelation of the Zerg army, it's really hard, you know, to know what they're gonna do. But Harstem is on point with this. You can see Namshar trying to deny it, so okay, he's only gonna get these Hydra in a revelation.
Well, I don't know if he got too close with these ones to show the Overlords or not. Harstem may or may not have seen this, but we'll tell if he comes back to the main. What I love, though, is he has kind of almost prepared for this in a way. Like, he's got the pylons over here, so he have something he can overcharge. Army looking to intercept the Overlords before they can go around the corner of the map, I guess?
Yeah, like, honestly, I feel like Namshar didn't, like, he wasn't really all in enough with what he did early game. So, no, like, he was letting Harstem really, like, catch back up a little bit. Like, just imagine if Harstem just didn't lose these units randomly at the third base. It would be in an amazing situation right now. If this drop doesn't work, I feel like Namshar is gonna have a really hard time.
Well, he's done lurkers behind us too once again, so it'd be kind of cool to see if we get to them.
But yeah, like
this is
the cool thing you can do, you know, because you show up at your army like in front of the fourth base of the Protoss, and then like if he's defending, then you just run to the third and you borrow the lurkers, and then it's a really hard position for the Protoss. Like there's a lot of cool maneuver you can do with lurkers, especially if you have a drop coming out at the same time.
Well, I love what Harstem's done here. He saw this coming, immediately put Zealots in the main. I mean, this isn't going to stop it, but a full surround with a couple charges, the first wave of Hydras are going to die immediately. Yeah,
like this is an okay answer. And honestly, when you see Hydra drop like this, I feel like you should almost immediately drop at a dark shrine, because usually they come in with only drop overload and no oversource. That's almost how it works. Okay, so we see something going on with the fourth of Namshar. I do believe it's like 3 Zealot at most. Oh no, yeah, now we see this multitask, but Namshar is not really looking at it. He picked up everything. Now there's the lurker. There's not much unit here, but the split of like Templars don't really deal with lurker that well. So he's doing some damage now. The drop overload don't really do much. Where's the rest of Namshar army? I feel like Namshar has a lot of units at all. Oh man, this run by though.
Yeah, 13 workers.
It was only 3 Zealots, I think, but they killed so much because we were not like that.
You know, I think that's a lot to do with why he was distracted. You can't really afford to fight for the Hydras. You can't dance around with the lurkers while you're dealing with that at home. Now you just at least focus on 2 fronts. But Harstem's going for Tempest behind all this. Finally, that's the first couple of those pop out here in a moment.
Yeah, Tempest is like the conservative choice. Oh god, these lurkers are very dead. Man, like,
there's no way Harstem can win this game.
Well, I mean, if Namshar actually attacked, like did a good attack, you know.
Actually, no, so I'm teasing you, but what's funny is I watch a lot of games with Scarlet where she'll do the same thing, and I feel like every 5 minutes she flops out, and I'm like, okay, well, now he's gonna win, now he's gonna win. And I don't know, I don't like making those decisive decisions personally, not because I don't want to be wrong.
Oh, wait, stuff is happening right now. Like, Namshar is doing some wild maneuver, and he's up in supply. Does that mean that he's gonna win this one? Some lurkers over. What's up?
What is going on?
Yeah, there's no way Namshar lose, man. See? Just
now you're doubling down on it.
The actually is just coming in and be like, oh, is that some high-tech Protoss units? Well, I'm throwing spines at you.
Okay, I love these changelings, by the way, trying to body block. This is so sick. He can't get in range to shoot because of the changelings. That is so cool. That's such a smart move out of Namshar. Now he does lose the lurkers, unfortunately, but he does kill the base over here.
That's what I like to see Namshar. Lose 16 workers to 3 Zealots, aim move and win the game. My boy. Yeah, like, Templates are cool, but they don't really do that much damage.
Well,
like
the mothership's going to go down. No recall.
No.
He could have recalled it too. That's going to really cost for Harstem. Not only does he have to replace 16 probes, but the mothership is so expensive.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is almost that same problem we saw out of Namshar earlier, right? Like, he's doing good damage. There's no arguing that, but he didn't quite finish off Harstem.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is this army. Sometimes, like, you need to not take a bad fight because Lurker can do a ton of damage if you take a bad fight. Right now, Harstem has a ton of gas, but it's not playing versus Hydra Bane. He's playing versus Lurkers. And even if he has a Sea of Harkons, Lurkers don't care. Like, Lurkers will kill that Sea of Harkons very easily. Now, to be fair, if Namshar does nothing and that Harstem gets back to the good population, it should be fine, but I do believe if Namshar eats in the next
Oh, he's gonna
minutes...
get the base?
Oh.
This was a huge snipe for Namshar.
I was like, you know the meme? Like, did he just walked in on dumb smash? He was like, did he just walking and kill the Nexus?
That's kind of what happened, yeah.
Slowly walking and right-clicking the
I thought
Nexus.
Harstem could see that too. Like, he was just walking right next to the army, but oh man, that's gonna hurt. Because of course we see he's transitioning to double immortals at a time, carriers, interceptors, Tempest. Like, this guy actually got a big bill coming his way.
Yeah,
he doesn't have money for it.
Harstem has good upgrades, you know, +1 for carriers on everything. Like, if he didn't take that horrible fight, like, Harstem would have this game in the bag, but now this is very difficult because he needs to keep up with where Namshar is gonna hit.
He does have a lot of storms still, which is gonna be nice. I really wish he had that mothership. Could add a lot to this fight.
Yeah, like if he kept his mothership alive, this would be much better. But yeah, like no Namshar with the Sea of Changeling. You can't keep the ball. Oh, no, this is so bad. Like Namshar is gonna take position with his third and it's gonna be so hard to take him down. Oh, no, only Hydraulic. I thought like all of the Lurker was sitting at the third base. So they're a bit more to the side now, but I feel like these outcomes, they're not really gonna do anything to him down.
I like that he's kept it back actually. If he did just throw it in, it'll cover and these things. However, the storms take a lot of the Hydras down, but there's still a lot more where that came from. And of course, the Lurker problem.
Yeah, the Lurker problem. Like, in this situation, like Harstem would love to have like 4 or 5 Tempests, not one. One doesn't do enough damage. Namshar can sit here and kill a ton of stuff. A drop in the main was dealt with. GG.
Namshar evens it up 1-1. Man, that was okay. So I wasn't trying to like make you feel bad or like anyone who's brought up this call thing, but I love that even when you've got a pro who's so concerned it's gonna go one way, there's still a little bit of back and forth. Like there's always that small chance that something stupid happens, right? But
yeah.
Oh, that was a cool game. I like that one. Okay, Mech Depot is gonna be third and final map in this series. Things are tied up now, and we'll see who. And it's the first part of the group too for those who are just joining in. So like there is no elimination just yet. This will determine who goes to the elimination match and who goes on to the winners match. And the other people in the group too, like let's not forget, is Kelazur, Ziggy. Ziggy's kind of up in the air for us, but it really is like who's going to be the top two out of Harstem, Namshar, and Kelazur.
Yeah, and Mech Depot. Mech Depot is a fun map. I kind of like this map. I feel like it's maybe a pretty balanced map in PvZ.
So I just make sure Namshar knows we're good when he is. I keep getting distracted by the main screen. It's nice to see Zombie Grove up there.
Yeah. Zombie Grub getting started for the bottom. Now she's here. And we're still at the bottom right now.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's probably the lightest shirt I've ever seen her wear. And the pink makes it kind of look like she's not wearing anything. Not in a weird way, guys. Calm down. I'm just saying.
You say not in a weird way, but that makes it weirder.
I don't know, because there's like that common thing where it's like, how do you deal with stage fright? You pretend everyone's naked or whatever. And like, that's not weird.
It kind of is.
Are you just uncomfortable with nudity? Is that what this comes down to?
I'm trying to make it very awkward right now.
Okay. Well, luckily for you, I've got a lot of experience. I've got a lot of experience with being awkward, so it works out quite well. All right, folks, it's game number 3. Things are tied up 1-1, and we got the blue Protoss spawning here. It's Harstem.
And at the top right, this is the guy that loves his Hydralisk and kills a ton of people with them. This is Namshar.
I feel like that you just described like every Zerg player right now.
No, it's Hydra and Bane. Namshar only makes Hydra. Like, the last game, he got a Baneling nest, then he didn't make any Baneling. Fun fact, if he made Baneling, he would have won the game straight up. But instead, he made it a bit close.
Well, speaking of making it a bit close too, I do want to give some credit to Harstem. You know, he was in a shitty position, and I think he did really well with.
Yeah, like Harstem actually should have won that last game. To be honest, like at some point,
this guy.
At some point, Harstem should have won, but he took a really bad fight in the middle, and then it was all over. But before that fight, I would put Harstem in the lead by quite a bit.
So in this matchup, I'm not going to say any strategy-wise, but just generally speaking, which race do you think has a better chance for like a comeback in that situation? Like
Zerg.
Always Zerg, no doubt?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I was going to say, because I always get really sad watching Mana, actually is another player who does this, where he'll be down on the ropes, and he'll play a hell of a game on his way to death. but like he still ends up losing at the end of the day.
Like Mana is one of these players that have the skill of dying very slowly. Showtime is like this too. Some people are just gonna die very slowly, and some other like me are gonna die very fast if they're behind.
Well, hopefully it's nothing too bad with Namshar's computer or anything. The lag's actually gotten better. I know that they had to reset the connection earlier. Were you affected by that?
Oh yeah, man. This kept on not working. This was a bit annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, we had our frames dropped and stuff. But
Only this row too. We were like the cursed row, where we just drop out the game. And it wasn't even like the lag, where just you pause when it's fine. It's the lag that lasts for 3 seconds. So when you come back into the game, it's 3 seconds later. And sometimes you really like lose a couple of minutes. I didn't lose any game because of it, but
you know, when StarCraft Remastered got launched, we were in California and Snoot and a couple others with us at a tournament, and we were watching on the phone the remastered launch, and they're like, LAN, and Snoot's like, they get LAN? It just kind of sucks. Like, we're still at these venues where, like, it's cool that it's the PTR, right? They're helping, it's getting better, but it's still, like, it's not LAN. Like, I just want to plug my computer into that computer and play StarCraft 2.
is this actually live? Yep, it is.
Oh yeah, hello Spinach King and anyone tuning in. For those who don't recognize the voice, of course, it is clearly Todd joining me on the cast.
Hello guys, I'm gonna make a look at the supply joke.
Luca.
It's funny every time.
Hey Rotterdam, I'm better at Warcraft. No, this is a Jogo.
Look at my esports earning. It's so many numbers.
The incident.
Look at yours. There's not any numbers. So embarrassing. Look at the supply.
If I close my eyes, I can see it as long as I'm casting with Todd. God damn it, that's gonna give it. Anyways, for those who don't recognize the voice, I'm of course joined by Drogo. Unfortunately, already knocked out, but you know what? He wanted to come cast, and I couldn't say no. It's always nice to hang out with other people, and Drogo's been lending some insight to this series so far. Quite glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Just gotta keep myself busy.
Yeah, better than being bored, that's for sure.
Oh shit! Oh no!
Just getting to the main.
He's gonna scout. Oh my god, it's a
Alright,
Stargate! Oh shit! It's a Stargate!
I can't believe Bruno's going to Stargate!
What the fuck? Oh wait, he's making 8 more lanes. Huh.
Well, for Namshar, who normally has just been droning through the series,
That's a lot of like.
I don't know what he can get done with this. Unless he's afraid of the attack.
Yeah, he's gonna go up to. This is gonna be 12 juggling. Okay, this is like. Okay, because look at the worker count. If he doesn't catch these 2 adepts, this is a really bad game. But since he's gonna be able to catch them, this juggling is not only like. Look at okay. See, like this is what happens, you know. Because when you want to kill this adept, you have to make a gamble as Namshar or make a ton of jugglings. But now that his gamble paid off, this top base is not getting up. Like yeah, sure, buddy.
Actually, what is great about this too is like, let's say that Oracle comes to defend. Like that's all the energy wasted here, not on drones, but this is still probably going to be a cancel.
Sure, buddy. We're taking a third. Yep. We're taking the third. Yep.
Yeah, Harstem's just kind of got to let this go as long as he can, buy some more time, and let the lane turn around elsewhere, but cancels it, we'll see. This is really great for Namshar. You talk about that gamble, well, it's certainly paying off.
It's paying off big time right now. Oh my god, what is this? Yeah, can you look at Harstem base, see what he has in his base? Only a Twilight on his baking charge. Ooh, my friend. This is 2 zealots at the same. Yeah, like Harstem, you know, like that's it. You lose the 2 adept, and then you have to craft this weird build to try to get back into the game. And a robo, okay, I mean, this can work, but Namshar is a big Roach guy, you know. If he feels like he can be all in, he's just gonna get Roach, which is, you know, perfect.
Oh, he's gonna get cancelled again. Yep.
Yeah, usually you can cancel it once or twice, but when this happens.
Yeah, again, like just wasting energy here. Harstem just to activate the Pulsar Beam, it's like all the energy on the Oracle, so out of juice now. This guarantees that there's no revelations going on back at home, there's no harassment going to that mineral line, and Namshar's actually spread creep really well. He's connected all of his bases, so running up to those Oracles won't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, 5 more guys, but he's gonna do it for the +1, and without the +1, this is gonna suck. Like, Harstem can still win, but Namshar needs to, like, fall asleep on his drone key.
Well, he doesn't have a Roach Warren yet, right?
So far so good on the falling asleep on the drone key, but to be honest, like if he stops now, he can hold it pretty fine, I think.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that guy, see if he goes for too much more. As far as Namshar goes, though, we're talking about Harstem not seeing much, and unfortunately, there's Namshar.
Namshar is not big on scouting, you know. It's one of the things. Okay, he's making some juggling now, but followed by Modron. Oh, you know, like He didn't really wanted to do this in the first place, but Harstem called this build like the brick breaker.
The brick breaker?
Because it only works against bricks. Namshar is not a brick, so I'm not sure if this is gonna be.
Well, I mean,
really
okay,
good.
so this doesn't have +1, that sucks. But the thing is, charge is still going to make it so they can deal with the Hydras. If he's got enough of these units, like that Brick Breaker, that Brute Force, I can see it working.
Yeah, so now he's picking Hydralisk. And Hydralisk are weird. Well, with few Hydralisk, it completely sucks, but if you start having like a good mass of Hydras, then you can start like, okay, the first base, here we go, the first base. Just whopping. Okay, I love it. I love this Stomp Block call. Yeah, see, and Namshar is like, okay, buddy, you have all these drones, but now he needs to buy time until he has the Hydralisk.
Plus, he just threw all of his links on the other side. He's abandoning the base. He just cancels everything here. I think this is the right move. Defending this would just be too costly. This one's a bit weird too, because now this base is cut off and reinforcements coming also get cut off. So Harstem's got a really good position on this base. Drones are being pulled into this. Don't forget, guys, it's game number 3, and all the pressure's on Namshar right now.
Yeah, a pretty good hawk for Namshar right now. He's taking a pretty cost-effective fight. I think Harstem what he needs to do now is maybe pull back a little bit, kill the 4th base, then go home. And it's gonna be in a very good situation. Oh, he's getting to Sentry with this. Oh yeah, okay, pretty on-the-fly move. He's gonna be able to fall through this ramp. And okay, he's not scared.
Cool.
On Namshar, it's not like Namshar can chase, no. 8 more charge lots. On Namshar army cannot really win against this. So, oh, but he's going for the harass now. Namshar is gonna try to catch his army. It's gonna work though. This Oracle is here, starting Storm. But what is the prism of Harstem? Where is it? Okay, he's following the army now. So yeah, Namshar is relying on catching this army really hardcore. But if Harstem just picks up on it to whop a row of like 8 zealots, I don't think his plan can work anymore. Yeah.
Plus, the army's getting split here. It's very easy for him to just go on top of the queen.
Yeah, like oh my god, like Namshar is just like this is my one shot. But I don't believe he has enough right now. There's some zealots in the 3rd base. Harstem taking his time, not okay. Recognizing this. This is the fight. Let's will either lose or winning the game.
I don't see any music playing there. Looking at that after, but win or lose this fight, I mean, it does determine the series. And Harstem is just kind of brute forcing his way through. Hydras though, they do get some behind Those transfuses are sick. Harstem's out of zealots. He's got to fall back. Couple of force fields maybe? No, he picks up with the Archon to fly away.
Yeah, he picks up, but Storm is done. I do believe he has more than enough time to get some Templars at home. On have Storm ready. And yeah, like Namshar like lost 2 archeries. He's still very all in.
Yeah, actually, the income here favoring Harstem quite a bit over the last few minutes of this game too. Beauty of taking down those bases. I think once he's got that money train rolling in, it's gonna be really easy to take down Namshar. Namshar can't recover that army supply.
Yeah. Like the only thing going, this Oracle kill is very nice. Like if you get your army tagged over and over, you can't really win the game anymore. On like. Maybe Namshar plans right now is to it's for like a +2 timing because he knows it's gonna be ahead in upgrade, and maybe from that like try to win the game on the 4th base. It's one thing you can do, like just do a 3 base all-in and keep all-inning for a long time and base the Protoss into like trying to defend a 4th when he doesn't need to. This is one of the way you can come back to the game.
Well, just wriggling around with the Hydras for now. And spot on the money, nothing else, just Hydras and more Hydras and some more Hydras.
Yeah, man, no Banelings, Hydras.
I mean, I guess this probably works against a good chunk of players because obviously Namshar wouldn't do it if it didn't work at some point. It's just crazy to see Zealots and no Baneling response to me because maybe he's afraid of storms, maybe he just feels like the Hydras are a little bit more durable, but I don't know. I've seen so many of these Protoss players lose their Zealots charging into their front line and a wave of Baneling meets them. But oh, it's drop Overlords again. And this gets scouted actually already by Harstem. This is a huge scout too on this run by.
Well, he can pick up all of the drones and drop Overlord.
That's actually true. You save the workers, yeah. Well, last time he barely saw it in the last second and he responded appropriately. You know, Zealots were already warped in. This time around, he already knows it's coming.
Yeah, gets scouted, still goes for it.
I almost want to be better to fake it. Bring all the Overlords to the main.
Yeah, I mean,
like empty.
I think like you show up, you get your Overlord tag, and they actually have nothing in them. Ooh. But yeah, Namshar going for his big timing. He's up in supply right now. He has a pretty solid army. Because it's always the same thing at this point. The Protoss army can be very powerful, but it's always pretty fragile. You need to connect the storm properly or not like fight into a concave of Hydralisk. Oh, actually, I take that back. Namshar going for very interesting split drops. Some in the 3rd, and I do believe some in the main, and I think yeah, this Hydralisk. Okay, so this is gonna be like, this is very Nature-esque, you know, trying to eat everywhere at the same time. This can work. I'm very excited about it. This is a good moment.
This feels more like a Terran strategy than a Zerg strategy.
But he has to be careful. I think Harstem has his Mothership Core in the main with the finance. That's what I would do at least.
I love the way...
Oh, one Templar.
I love the way he split up the units that got revealed, by the way. Like, to use the high ground to deny, draw some Zealots this direction, drops it over here, only a couple Titans for defense. Army is actually responding all the way over here. I guess Harstem didn't realize how many overlords.
Namshar, like, if you were sitting the forward, it would be very good, but the army of Harstem can kind of deal with every threat at once, the way it is right now. And there's something about shooting at the mid phase, the Mothership Core killing the finals, but you can just move away. Harstem is losing some worker. This is just doing some work. They're gonna get cleaned up eventually. That's the main issue. He still has overlords in front base, so Harstem still needs to defend. He left the Templar here, which is an interesting choice. If he wrecks his time, he's gonna defend well. Oh, actually, Namshar can go in a natural, maybe? That would be sick. Besides, it's cleaning up. At the end of the day, maybe it was. Oh, the Storm are gonna kill you.
Ooh, that one was really low yet. Oh, another one gets down.
Yeah, no, if Namshar didn't lose his overlords, I would still believe that he had like a pretty strong shot at this game after he makes like a bunch of workers. But right now, Harstem has a pretty comfortable supply lead. He's even in upgrade. He has the Warp Prism that can do like counter damage whenever he wants. He saves it. He saves it. Nice.
That was a tough call. Namshar could have got the Warp Prism if he gave up the base.
Yeah, like no, he gets the Dark Shrine too. So whenever Namshar is gonna try cute multitask, he's gonna need to bring an Overseer with it, which is not really costly, but also never happens. So the Dark Templar is just always gonna clean the drops.
Yeah, problems persist the further this goes on. I think what's cool though is like, I still look at the resources lost, I look at the upgrades, I look at the supply, it's all so close, but not really.
Yeah, not really. Like, Harstem's army much stronger, but Namshar right now is not really trying to fight head on. He's just gonna try to multitask and take Harstem out of position. Harstem, which by the way, not transitioning, you know, he's not getting the beacon, he's not getting the barriers. So even in a maxed out fight, if Namshar has a lot of workers, he can defend, you know, he will not just get a move to death. He can stand his ground. But now we see the fleet beacon, we see a bunch of spine crawlers to defend against eventual prism harass.
What I'm a little bit sad about though is, like, he's, with all these Hydras, no buffer, it just feels like even making 6 or 7 roaches or something, like, just to stand in front of them, to soak a couple of Zealot hits, could have made such a huge difference in the way he's been taking a lot of these fights.
Yeah, so a Dark Templar from Harstem, more Hydralisk from Namshar. They're both like reaching max, and now we're gonna see what happens. These 2 Zealot on patrol are spotting for stuff, as our Dark Templar waiting to go into this base.
Oh, why can't I grab that? There we go.
Ton of Overlord. Some of them may not even drop Overlord. Yeah, like you should back away to spot them like this. Like Harstem right now has a lot of vision.
Oh, it doesn't know what's coming up top.
But
though.
no, yeah, now he's taking the Watchtower. A lot of units now reaching the 5th base of Namshar. Is he gonna pull back? Oh no, 1 DT per base. Oh my god, what is
this? This is gonna be a pain because I don't think he has Spore. Oh, he does have this one.
There's 1 Spore here.
Nothing here. God. 1 Spore, but still, like, he could easily deal with this. Like, Namshar's thinking, oh, I'm getting away with this big attack, but the DTs are about to hit 5 bases.
Yeah, like, this is so old school. It used to be so common in Wing of Liberty to just go 1 DT per base randomly. But here, this is so powerful.
Oh, I just sniped the hatchery. That one was still low from earlier. I forgot about that. This one's also getting target fired down. The ones down here were denied. He sees that too, so he pulls back. While this goes on, Namshar tries to commit, but Harstem's ready and waiting. And this is looking better and better for our blue Protoss.
But here's the thing, like, they both have massive tanks. So Namshar can still try to go for like a very cost-effective max fight. And then you can ask, well, what? I thought that Protoss was always better in a max fight. Not necessarily. If Namshar turned all of his gas into lurkers, he can really easily take a really stupidly like cost-effective fight. For example, he drops in the main, does some damage, lose every Hydra, then suddenly he morphs like 20 lurkers, goes into 4th base and kills it, you know? Like, look at all of his units from Harstem.
There's lurkers on the way, so...
Yeah, there's already like some lurker on the way. Like, Harstem right now would have loved to have a more teched up this is a lot of units from Harstem in the main. If Namshar can pick up on it and try to be aggressive somewhere else.
There's almost no anti-air, by the way. Not that I'm saying he should, but like Mutas would be such an interesting choice right now, just because there's no anti-air.
Well, I mean, Mutalisk. I would much rather have him. Maybe he can do a Muta switch, to be honest. If
this was Bly, for sure.
Yeah, like a Muta switch is not out of the question. It's one of the things Harstem should be scared of. Oh, look at now, the lurker taking position. This is a pretty good position, but there's not enough lurker I think to pose any real threat right now. But if he had like twice the lurker number. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
He does see one of them.
Yeah, so he runs away as he should. Okay.
I like the leapfrog effect, actually. Doesn't drop over here. No detection. He knew there were DTs. And well, if he was dropping, he'd been denying that fifth base out of Harstem right now, but he can't. He's so focused on what's going on over here.
Yeah, so like, yeah, he's hitting this base. Oh, he sent the DT across. Now Namshar doesn't know, so it's not. Oh, Namshar is dropping the fifth of Harstem again. Man, this is such an interesting game. Like, he's killing this base. This DT is annoying, but at the end of the day, like, Namshar can win this game. He has more money in the bank.
I'm really surprised that these Hydra drops are working.
Oh no, the mothership is coming in with no detection. Namshar lost a ton of finishes with more arrows everywhere. There's a big drop in the main though, but he's not really like, no, he has no overseer. Yes, if he's Dark Templars, one like asked him the game. In this like multi-task scenario, the Dark Templars are just so good because it forces them to do so much more to do anything.
By the way, Namshar had past tense a really nice bank. Just on 11 drones and 25 Hydras alone, he's almost exhausted. So with all these hatches going down, it wasn't always about the money either. It's a little bit about the larva, because Namshar's still floating a ton of money, and he can't build any more units.
Harstem's army right now is so powerful.
Oh, I love this. He's turning some of the drop overlords into overseers, and I can actually stick around with this. I mean, cutting out the warp prism or the warp pins is going to be nice. Harstem's army is already good enough. He doesn't really need more. He's just pushing in with what he has. And that's so many immortals that haven't even had their barriers triggered yet.
Yeah. Harstem's army is too powerful. Marches in. Solid defense for the entire game. Good multitask. Did a ton of damage. Namshar is probably gonna kill his warriors, his protection, but you know, it's not like he has like 20 lurkers sitting on top of a ramp or something.
Yeah, if this base was heavily spined, lurkers, maybe, but yeah, you're right, there's just no defense setup to go. And while he might try and base trade it the best he can, he's not gonna win that trade. Not with Immortals busting down everything.
Namshar is fighting for his life. This is just hopeless.
Yeah, Harstem, I'm really impressed to see this. He played. I feel like both players played this series really well. I wish this was a best of 5. I wish this was up on the main stage actually. This was such a sick series.
Yeah, it was a pretty good series. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even if the early game every time was a bit shaky from one player or the other, then the mid game was always really fun.
Yeah, the dynamic, the way Namshar plays too, very different from most Zerg. So I really wasn't ready for the Hydras, frankly. This game was kind of cool to see the lurkers.
3 lurkers on top of her end. Is this Brood War? Is this gonna hold everything?
I'm really sad he doesn't actually have more overseers, by the way, because his changeling armies in those first games were like really cool to see too. But yeah, he's still trying to trade this out. I think both players know what's up. Harstem is very interested in the better. Oh, those storms blanketing everything. One-shotting what little there is left. GG. Harstem takes it 2-1. Good stuff.
Alright.
That's good for Harstem too.
Yeah, we waited a bunch, but it was a pretty good game at the end of all that waiting.
Yeah, actually, I kind of forgot about the waiting because I was really enjoying the series.
Yeah.
But alright, folks, I don't know what's up next. I gotta go talk to Sejo, the admin. We'll see what's coming up. Thank you, Drug. I don't know if you'll be coming back, sticking around, or whatever. But
I'm gonna take a small break now. Maybe I will come back later.
Cool, cool. Either way, thank you for joining me for the time you did. Good series, guys. Of course, if you want to follow Drogo, you can follow him on Twitter at MYIPT Drogo, We'll see you guys in a little bit, though, once we know what our next series is. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.